What?
That's right, yep. Okay, I came to town. I'm warming up my right arm.
Hold on, he's warming up. He's ready to do it.
Well,
Got into town
we'll
last
talk
night.
to him in a second. This news is brought to you by Thank You Oceans. Partly cloudy today, 60s and 70s for us.
Dr. Oz!
Oh, I love that jingle.
Yeah, we ripped it off from Jimmy Kimmel, but it is good. And we are thrilled to have you live. We've had you on so many times over the phone. It's a pleasure to have you live.
It is fun, AJ. A lot of energy in the studio. It's good to be here in person.
We are excited. And you are in San Diego for a big convention, which of course, Comic-Con.
Yes.
No, that's right.
The North American Black Journalists is a huge event, actually. And, you know, have a lot of journalists of color talking about the different challenges that their community faces, and I get to speak to all of them a little bit about health, which of course is a big issue for me. Right. Because if we don't face up to the health issues, we're mortgaging our future. So why not start here?
And so you're kicking it off, and the theme is the power of change. And change, when it comes to your health, change is a big deal because no matter what your habits have been, no matter what you've done to yourself, your body's always regenerating itself. So if you make a change now, it makes a huge difference, right?
Yeah, you got all the power. First of all, most people mistakenly think that their genes determine how long and how well they're going to live. False, false, false. You know, at least two-thirds of how well you will age, how great your sex life will be, whether you're addicted to stuff, how long you live, all that's really based on your lifestyle. And the beauty of the body is it's always regenerating itself. It's the most sacred, most valuable thing we ever got. Most of us don't know jack about it. And so what we try to do, as you know, on the show, is just try to get people comfortable with the biology of their body, get a little more comfortable with how they might be able to change things. And then the big issue I want to do this year is get people motivated, because finally I figured it out. You know, after 25 years of being married, after 25-some years of being a heart doctor, I finally figured out people don't change based on what they know. They change based on what they feel. So you gotta get people emotionally invested in a decision, and all of a sudden you see change.
Interesting.
Here in the studio, I think we're always doing stuff. We're working out, you know. I'm sitting on a ball. We've got vitamins. Gina takes her vitamins every morning. But I think we fall off the wagon sometimes, you know, and we kind of revert back to those old habits. And can you give us any tips or advice just how to stay consistent with it, try to, you know, eat right and exercise?
Well, the first step is don't beat yourself up about it. Listen, we're all flawed. That's what makes us so cool. That's what makes us so interesting. You know, the fact of the matter is we're messed up as a species, and that's just fine. So realize you're going to fall off the wagon. All you got to do is get back on it again. So don't beat yourself up. Number two, you got to make sure you have some physical activity every day, and it's just going to be simple. And by the way, if you could just do it, get in the work, or you know, incorporate it into your job somehow, that's the best. So then you don't have to make time to do a workout at the end of the day. So, you know, we're sitting on a ball, by the way, so when you read the news, is a very good technique. Keeping things around you at your desk that you can work with, fantastic. Use the steps at work instead of the elevator, simple things like that. By the way, that's the #1 reason why people live a long time around the world.
Right.
Daily physical activity. What kills us is not cancer and heart disease, it's frailty. And the third thing, talk about food for a second, it's not just food that's good for you. You gotta eat food that comes out of the ground, looking the way it looks when you eat it.
No processed stuff.
No process. And here's the key, you gotta love it. So don't let me talk you into mushrooms if you don't like mushrooms. You know, I don't want to push broccoli if you're not gonna eat it. Pick something that's your joy, you love, you crave, make that part of your life. For example, if I was in the studio here with you every day, I have a big bowl of nuts here. Because I knew I could eat nuts, they give me fiber, protein, I know I like the taste. Yeah, they got a little bit of calories, but they got nutrients to match, and I'd never be hungry. I wouldn't be able to go out, I wouldn't be out there foraging, looking for soda pops and coffee with creamer and all that other junk. I'd eat stuff that I knew was good for me. Automate your life, you're good to go.
So we make our worst choices when we're hungry. Let me give the phone number real quick, because I want people to have this rare opportunity. You watch Dr. Oz on TV every day, and you go, if I can only ask him one question, we're going to let you ask that question if you'd like. 570-1941.
How much does hormones and stress and all that affect, you know, our ability to lose weight? Because I've heard that, like, you can work out so much, but if you're stressed and you're producing all these weird hormones, it's not going to happen.
Absolutely right. Here's what happens. What is the equivalent of stress for the human body? Think about it. 1,000 years ago, it was stress. It wasn't getting to work on time. It wasn't a paycheck. 1,000 years ago, stress was fundamentally famine. If you didn't have enough food, you got stressed. So the body hormonally responds to stress as though you're starving. So it sends out chemicals. One of them is called, it turns on these cannabinoid receptors. Now think about, what's that word cannabinoid mean? Sounds like cannabis, right? Sounds like pot.
Yeah.
What happens when you smoke pot? You get the munchies.
Right.
So the body actually gets the munchies when you feel stress. You'll eat food that you normally wouldn't eat. You'll eat more of it than you would ever eat, and you will put weight on. And the reason the body does that is to store belly fat. So because the body's saying, hey, listen, if you feel stressed, you're going into a famine, I want to give you extra calories in there so you can use those calories during the famine. Unfortunately, these days, to go hunting, you just slide the milk carton out of the way. So there's no famine, but you still get the calories.
Dr. Oz is joining us. He watches the show every day. He's in San Diego for a big convention, and we're taking your call at 570-1941. Getting back to what you said about emotion, being the trigger for change, talking about stress as an emotion. Once you know what you just told us, all right, you stress out, you're going to eat wrong, everything else. It's hard to choose not to stress.
Yeah, I mean, but the fact of the matter is, you can't just retire from work. You can't, exhaust all the opportunities of running away from stress. You got to be able to cope with stress. That's what we've always done as a species. I'll give you one good example. The way old ancient religions taught about stress management, the way even today Ayurvedic traditions, yoga, it all comes down fundamentally to deep breathing.
Wow.
And so if you can just learn to take a deep breath, if you watch a child sleeping at night, they do it naturally. When they inhale in, they actually push their belly button out. That takes this big, thick muscle called the diaphragm that's beneath the lungs and it moves it down. That basic motion moves nitric oxide, this short-lived gas, from your sinuses into your lungs and relaxes you. Now, I can make this all seem technical and complicated. It doesn't practically matter. All you got to do is learn how to take a deep breath the way an athlete does before an event, as a singer does when they perform. It's simple stuff that we all know how to do, but we forgot. So many of the stress management tools human beings have had for millennia. That's how we survived. And we just got to rediscover them. And they're free.
That's funny. That's so many of the things. There's a new book every day about living stress-free or losing weight. Most of the answers have been around for generations, long before
simple,
us.
Huh?
Let's take a couple of quick calls, and I know you got a tight schedule this morning, but Joanna would love to ask you about what, Joanna?
Energy drinks.
How about an energy drink?
Throwing mine away right now.
They're all sitting in studios.
Let me finish off mine real quick.
All right, here's the deal with energy drinks. First of all, the best energy drink out there probably is green tea. And I didn't put coffee in that list because coffee is the #1 source of antioxidants in America.
Wow.
So it's actually a health beverage, but the cream and the sugar aren't. So if you're going to need to have something to imbibe to give you energy, try to choose one of those. The problems with most energy drinks is they use a lot of caffeine. They put a lot of sugar in it because it gets you jazzed up. But you have to deal with the sequelae, which is the fall, the sugar coma you fall into when your body begins to try and make peace with all that junk you just put in yourself.
Oh, boy.
And so you got to find more natural ways of getting where you need to be in life. If you're going to take an energy drink, it ought to be in big-time moderation. I'm a heart surgeon. I go to the operating room every Thursday. I still do it. If I took an energy drink before I went to the OR, my hands would be shaking. I'd be rushing through the operation.
Yeah.
I'd have to leave to go to the bathroom. It'd be a big problem.
Wow.
So think about it in that context. We're not supposed to be taking that stuff into our body.
Well, our job couldn't be less important, so we're all right.
Yeah, that's true.
We're not doing heart surgery over here. All right, Tasha, good morning. Tasha? All right, I know we're going to wrap up. One more call. This is the last call. Tasha, what's going on? A lot of urban legends about things to increase your chances, but are there any real medically sound things you can do?
You know, most of the foods that are deep, rich colored foods, the blueberries, the leafy green vegetables, they have chemicals in them that these vegetables and fruits use to protect themselves against the sun. Many of them are antioxidants, but there are other chemicals in them as well. They all tend to improve the way our hormones function, which of course helps pregnancy. They all tend to improve our ability to maintain emotionally calm, which helps our relationships so we can have sex, so we can get pregnant. All those sort of fit together. So although it's hard to prove that any one of them in particular is powerful, we know for sure that at the end of the day, if your body feels stressed, either because you eat the wrong stuff or because you're emotionally not connected, that dramatically reduces your hormones and your ability to get pregnant.
There you go. Good luck. Thank you for the call. Have a great day. So we've learned today, quit stressing out, get some exercise, breathe deeply.
And if you fall off the wagon, get back on. It's okay. Don't beat
lots more
yourself up.
sex. Lots more sex.
Lots more.
If you don't want to get pregnant, be stressed though, right?
There you go. Tell your partner tonight.
Love Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz said. It's been medically prescribed.
Wait. You're supposed to dance with Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
I'm coming over.
Yeah. Do it.
All right. He dances every day on the show.
I know.
What's your favorite dance you've done on the show? Let's do it. You can teach me.
We'll do.
Do some leg kick stuff.
We do
that
leg
you
kicks.
guys
We'll do
All right,
the
cool.
parade line. Ready? Left.
Yeah. That was horrible.
There we are.
Dr. Oz in the studio. We got it. We did